continue to bless you and keep you in such a time as this. Part of the background noise. This is Spellman. No, this is Filmore Spellman Production presents YouTube live and in living color. I pray that everybody's having a wonderful, blessed day on today. Right now it's 5:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Eastern Standard Time here, here in the United States of America, Atlantic time zone. Yeah, it's still dark. Hasn't fall back yet. Eventually time will fall back and we will gain extra hour sunlight. Right now what you're hearing is a siren. There's a fire somewhere. I definitely know where that fire company comes from. There was a fire somewhere. Somebody got a fire in their house. Fire. Yep, somebody got a fire. Well, to those who just joining me, I would like for all of you to subscribe to my page and click that notification bell. Once you click that notification bell, every time I come on live, you'll get quick notifications so that if you're available, you could just hop on in and everything. And here are some housekeeping rules when coming on my page. Make sure you put positive comments down below. Anything negative will be and what have you, because we're grown folks now. We're supposed to be at the age of maturity and everything. So that's basically it. Yeah. Like I do this thing called life each and every day. I wake up in the morning. I get myself ready and prepared to go to work. As a widower who lost his wife, I have to wake up my 14-year-old son, make sure his clothes is on. The good news is that my 14-year-old goes to the same school where I work at, so he can't get away with murder. So I can keep an eye on my son and everything. I think that's the advantage. But we all lost someone who was near and dear to us. My two boys, my oldest son is 20, he lost his mom, and my 14-year-old, they lost their mom. And I lost my late wife, and we all lost someone who was very significant and dear to us. And it's not easy each and every day when you lose a loved one. This is somebody who literally was on planet Earth with us. And when I saw my late wife before we got married, she was gorgeous in every sense of the word and everything. She was a liturgical dancer. You understand how we met? We met based on church experience and everything. And I didn't hit it off right then and there. I remember I was involved in a relationship that it has ended because we had two different theological beliefs on the Godhead. Turk hit, WWK just joined. Yeah, so I'm Trinitarian. The relationship I had before my late wife, that person was a oneness Pentecostal. I didn't know that they exist until I came across one, and during that journey experience, it got me, searching the scriptures to defend the Godhead, the Trinity, and everything. That was my relationship before, I met my late wife and everything. But when I met my late wife, we both relatively believe the same thing. Being that I'm Pentecostal, and she came from the Baptist church and everything. So pretty much our theology is somewhat the same. You know what I'm saying? And my pastor knew her pastor. They both fellowship and preach at each other's churches. You understand? And little did I know that her pastor was my distant cousin who's related to my mom. You understand? So he's biologically related to me and my mom, and everything. And and getting to know her, it was a wonderful thing, man. I it's everything. And also I did a thing too again, but I'm not at liberty to discuss. But right now, what takes high precedent is my youngest son and everything. But yes, we lost somebody who was near and dear to us. And there's not a day that by that we don't miss her. We definitely miss her. You know? Yeah. And when you lose someone like that, it changed the whole family dynamic. It does. You know, it so much so that more fire engines to come. you know, it it does change the family dynamic. My late wife and I. Hey, God bless you, Jesus Image Church Africa from Uganda. He said, my brother, greetings from Uganda. Hey, God bless you. God bless you once again. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Thank you for yesterday for tuning in and everything. But yeah, it does change the whole family dynamic. You know, when she was alive, we used to do a lot of family things with each other, and it's different now. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm I'm trying to work extra hours to try to make ends meet when you lose a person. She was a meat. You understand? She was she helped and everything. You know, whether it be we contribute to rent, contribute to food and everything. You know, I just miss her. You understand? And this this is why I had to spend many hours to do overtime to try to make ends meet. You know, yeah, it's challenging. You understand at best, but nevertheless, I'm trusting in God each and every day. I'm trusting in Him. You know, some days are challenging than others. You understand, but I'm trusting in God. The fact that God woke me up this morning, allowed me to see another blessed day. And to give me the strength to take care of my son, and myself. I'm grateful. His brother, may you May you help us and connect our church ministry to any church over here. Sounds like a good thing. Amen. To be the glory. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, so I do this thing each and every day called life, the sacrifice. You know, you you know, each and every day I have to fight versus flight. You understand? Saga said hi. Hey, how you doing? I don't understand the language. Um, please, sir, please, ma'am, make sure you type English. I just can't understand. Most phones have what you call translations. So you could go to your translate app and, you know, when you speak in your language, put it to English. From your language to English. And that's how we can communicate. Right now, I can't respond. You know, Sega, I cannot respond because I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what language is that. So make sure, yeah, I can't understand. I'm sorry. I don't speak that language. Please, sir, please, ma'am, you know, make sure you, when y'all put your comments down below, just make sure you put it in English. I respect everybody's native tongue, the language that they speak, but I don't know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what that is. Jesus Image Church Africa. That's Ugandan language? I wish I knew. Oh, that's Russian. Yeah. What you do on Jesus Image? Copy what Sega is saying and go to Google search and paste it and find out the meaning. Because I don't know what that person is saying. Sega, I don't know what you're saying. Speak English. English here. Like I said, I respect everybody languages that they speak, but I cannot respond if I don't know what you're saying. You understand? English. And to err on the side of caution, I will have to delete it simply because I don't know. He is greeting you. Okay. Thank you so much. What is he saying? You know, I don't have that ability. I don't have like a second phone on me, you know, to see what that person is saying. So I would have known. I would have like screenshot it and copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just hope it's a good greeting. But I don't want to talk too much about that. But yeah, like I said, getting back to my situation, you know, every day I do this thing called life. You know, as a widower, as a person. He said, that's, you are in a dark place. Okay. Yeah, right now it's 6:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Atlantic time zone. You know, I'm on the Atlantic side of the world. You know, when you live in America, you have what you call Atlantic, and Atlantic is on the East Coast, Pacific is on the West Coast. You know, I'm on the Atlantic. I'm on Atlantic time, Eastern Standard Time. So time hasn't fallen back yet. Once time falls back, we'll definitely gain the extra light and everything. But I guarantee you, when winter comes and when we're in the month of January, guess what? It's going to be dark back again. You know, and one thing I learned about when the Earth rotates around the sun, and when it's fall, when it's fall and winter, it seems like the sun and the Earth are closest to each other. But when it's closest, that's when the weather gets cold. You think the Earth is getting warmer? No, it's getting cold. You understand? But if the Earth is further away from the sun, you know, that's summer. You understand? And we get that extra sunlight, and that's when it is hot, summer hot. Yeah, I'm putting you on game. 2100 hours. That's in Russia. It probably like 9 o'clock p.m. You understand? No, yeah, 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock is 2200 hours. 2300 hours. That's 11 o'clock. And 24 is 12 o'clock a.m. And then time goes back to 100 hours. That's 1 o'clock a.m. You understand? Allow me to get ready for lunch. Our service in church, bro. All right, God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother. You have a wonderful, blessed time, at your lunch service at your church. Right now is probably I don't know what time is here over there at Uganda and what have you. Jesus said thanks. Nice time. Amen. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, for those of you who are just joining in, just click the subscribe button and click that notification bell. And once you click that notification bell, it lets you know that I'm on live and everything. But every day you gotta live life, man. You got to live life, and I'm like how I'm doing. Right now it's 13:09. Okay, cause all right. I should know this. 1309. So that's 1 o'clock. That's 1 o'clock p.m. Right now it's 13:10 100 hours. That's military time for 1 o'clock p.m. You're in the 1 o'clock p.m. time zone if it's 13. Yep, 110. Yep, I was correct. Because the old job where I used to work at, when we do timelines and we put it on our report, we put military time. So that's 1 o'clock. Yeah, and then 1400 hours is 2 o'clock p.m. And 1500 hours is 3 o'clock. And 1600 hours is 4 o'clock. 1700 hours is 5 o'clock. You understand? So yeah, that's the time and everything. In his country, is 2109. That his time is 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9 o'clock p.m. You understand? So we are in the daytime. Y'all are in the nighttime, and it's still Thursday, October 23rd, but y'all time is quicker than us. You understand? So, yeah, it's good to know time zones and everything. People live in different time zones. People are still up at this time. Right now, people in other parts of the globe, they enjoying what you call the nightlife. Right now, it's early in the morning. If I flip the camera, there's hardly anybody walking right now. You see? I'm the only one walking. I walk from work. I walk from home to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Get that good cardio workout. You understand? And get the chance to talk to y'all and to see how everybody's doing in different parts of the world. You understand? Yeah. Let's try a question. Can y'all see that? This is a new feature that YouTube has. I'm trying to get rid of this, but it's there. Can't get rid of it. A good name for a pet rock. What is your answer? I don't know. That's the question for today. What is a good name for a pet rock? Do people name rocks at, like it's a pet? I don't. Because the way how I look at a rock is an animate object. To make it animated, you throw the rock at if it's a pebble, you hit it in the water and make a ripple effect like broop, 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 I can't get rid of this thing here, but it's going to stay. Yeah. Yeah. I would like to once again thank y'all so much for tuning in, on my time zone. Right now it's 6:15. Other time is 1:15 p.m. and also 9:15 p.m. depending on what part of the globe where you are. You understand? And we're just getting started. You understand? As far as the morning time, those who already experienced the morning, right now it's nighttime. Some of y'all probably feel like going to sleep right now, having been up and work hard and everything. Yeah, we do this thing each and every morning. And you have some people who work the graveyard shift. You understand? Like people work in the hospitals. You got people who does people who do security at night and everything. I used to do security at night. It was such a tremendous sacrifice, and I used to work the weekends, and it was hard because as a person in ministry, I was often missing a lot of church services and stuff like that. Yeah, that was the story of my life when I was working on the graveyard shift and everything. But now I work in the school system, and I have the weekends off, and also whenever they have holidays, I'm off and I still get paid. So God is great and everything. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'm doing this thing called life and trusting in God and everything. Since my late wife had passed, there are certain experiences I may not experience anymore. The idea of wanting more children, you understand? Always wanted a girl. I don't think I'm going to get a girl in this lifetime. You understand? There's certain things I have to accept in life, after the loss of a spouse. But right now, what takes high precedent are my boys. Will I ever become a grandfather and have granddaughters? That remains to be seen. You understand? But I have to come to the realization that there's certain things in life you may not experience, and that's fact. That's part of life, and I have to accept that, and everything. And I work in the school system. I see a lot girls and everything, they see me like a father figure, and I often wonder, what would life be like if I were to have a daughter? You understand? And I may not have this opportunity in this life because right now I'm 53, and at this age, I can't have children at this time. Now, unless I meet a female that is 20 years younger, but I will not do that. Because I don't do the dating, 20 years younger, because I'm 20 years their senior, and I'm old enough to be their parents, and they cannot relate with me as a Generation X, and they are if they 20 years younger than me, let's say in their 30s, you understand, and I'm in my 50s. Nah, they are what you call millennials. You understand? And they cannot identify what my time of growing up in music and pop culture, and things of that nature. Nah. Yeah, I don't do that. But you have some people that do. They say age is nothing but a number. I just see differently, man. Everybody got their sets of beliefs. Are they willing to date somebody 20 years their senior? I just feel funny about that. That's just my take. But like I said, everybody live life differently. I know a man who's a Christian, divorced his wife, they in that same age bracket, and he divorced and got involved with a younger woman. You understand? And this younger woman is in her, I think in her 20s, and this guy is in like almost 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said to myself, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's not me. I can't see myself dating somebody real young. At this time of my, think about retirement and things of that nature, no children, and stuff like that. Yeah. It's the truth and everything. I am almost at work. Like I said, I walk from home to work, and everything. I do this thing called life each and every day. Each and every day. I do this thing called life. Life. Don't be afraid of life. Don't be afraid of life. Live life. Be encouraged. We're gonna go through some things in life, but it's a part of life. You got to trust in God. Read your Bible each and every day. You pray. You seek the Lord's help. And it's okay not to be okay. When I mean it's okay not to be okay, recognize that you're going through and it's not okay. But the good news is, when you're not okay, that's when you seek the counsel of the Lord, and you trust in the Lord, and you depend on Him, you rely on Him, and everything. Otavio say why? I don't understand that. Please, sir, please, ma'am, make sure y'all speak English, type English. I don't understand these languages or the alphabets. I do understand the alphabets, but it's the connotation, it's the meaning. You got to make sure you have meaning to what you're saying, and, and so forth and so on. Yeah. But I'm here at work. I'm starting seeing kids coming in. Kids are being dropped off by their parents. Some kids, they take the bus to go to school. So I'm here, thank God. James Mike Different. He said OPS. This is when I start deleting. When I see messages like that, I start to delete. I don't need that. Like I said, housekeeping rules. Make sure when you type, make sure it is positive. I only have one negativity, and I deleted it. And that is not bad compared to in previously I was being bombarded by so much negativity and everything. Yeah. But that's it. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm here at work. I love y'all all. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Shalom, which means peace in Hebrew. Goodbye.